All right, everybody. I know I'm a little late today, but we're gonna talk about how to have healthy sex or rich sex, I want to call it. And we're gonna be referencing the book African Holistic Health. I'm gonna show it to you. Y'all need to get this book. Y'all need to get this book. This is by Layla Africa. By Dr. Layla Africa. Y'all need to get that book. But we're gonna talk about how to have healthy sex, and we ain't gonna be nothing crazy. We're gonna talk about three main topics. One of them is gonna be the mating cycles. Another one is gonna be the times of the day we should be having sex. Then the third is gonna be a topic called regeneration, or injaculation. All right, and I said I wanted to cover this topic because me personally, I feel more energized during the day. I feel like sex is better for me during the day. That's when the sun is up, and when the night is out, I'm really in the mood to chill, unless we've been out or whatever. But during the day, I find myself high energy, very high energy, especially between like 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. I'm very, very high energy. And then I started reading this book, and I've heard about this and a long time ago, and I just started practicing regeneration and meditation before sex. So I wanted to talk about that, and I'm just gonna read a few sections from the book. It's not gonna be too crazy, but I just wanted to let y'all know why we have sex at night now, or at least according to this book, why we have sex at night, and why we should have sex during the day, and why males, when we having sex, we should be practicing ejaculation or regeneration until mating season, and that's when we should be ejaculating. So I'm gonna just get right into it. I'm going on page 394 in this book. If you got this book, you can follow along. But it's called Cultural Clowns, Black Folks and Sex. And I just underlined some things, so I'm not gonna read the whole thing. But all animals, insects, and plants follow mating laws, except the Caucasian race and those races that follow Caucasian cultural sex behavior. It says Caucasians and those black folks who follow Caucasian sexuality are the only animals that have venereal diseases. Sex should be based upon the Ma'at principles of reward and punishment. And we violate those laws by having sex at unnatural times and doing unnatural things during sex. But it says the natural rhythm of the body indicates that between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., there are increases in the body temperature, depth of respiration, taste bud sensitivity, hearing and seeing activity responses, respiration, eye blinking, pulse, etc. The peak physical performance time for the human body is reached during the day hours, not the night hours. And I say that because that's when we should be, working out during the day. When the sun is up, we should be eating when our body is moving. We should be moving when our body is moving. Now it says the moon is reacting to a force that is not the originator of the force or energy. Of course, so we all know the moon gets its shine from the sun. So it's a reacting energy, not the original force energy. And it also says the diet and not the moon can influence the periodicity of women and men, as indicated by this professor called Professor E. Hertz works in mucusless diet. All right, it say female and male in the wild have in the natural state do not become excited or controlled by the full moon. That's something that it says Caucasians, their melanin albinism allowed them to only feel the earth and the moon lunar cycles. All right, so they believe that the earth is more powerful than the holistic forces that moved the moon, that created the moon. All right, so Africans can absorb and radiate the Earth, Moon, and Sun and galaxy cycles that are harmonized by the high melanin body content. So we gotta start using our melanin and react in the way of the natural way of the Earth. All right, so that's the start of that. And I know I wanted to touch on this regeneration part, and everybody's like I tried to explain to my wife, it is something foreign. It sounds foreign because we're not taught it. Like we'll watch like pornos and we won't see true examples of how to harness the power of a climax and use it to stimulate your pineal gland and use that energy to help you will things in life and take control of your life and help you become more of a human, more creative and more of a force out here. And we usually, what I've read is when we ejaculate, it's not just semen coming from our testicles. It's brain fluid too. So when we shoot it out, we losing that. We kind of and we abuse it the more we do it. But there's a process called injaculation or regeneration, where we climax, but we don't ejaculate. We climax, and through the rhythmic breathing of the pelvis, we can turn the semen back into a gas, and that gas will travel back up, through the cerebral cortex back to the pineal gland and stimulate the pineal gland and help us become more creative, more willful. We can will things better. We can guide our lives better. We can push things and use the force of our lives better instead of wasting it. So it's used to stimulate energy centers and chakras in the pineal gland. That's the importance of regeneration. And I was first introduced to it when I stayed in Carrollton. By my partner Clive. He was talking about it, and then and some other people in that circus, but I wasn't. I just wasn't on that. But I tried to practice it because I didn't want to lose my life force. So I would try to practice it, and not come during sex. But it's not just that. It's also the act of willing before sex. So you should have meditations before sex or whatever. And it's a script that I'm gonna read from the book that says that what we should do before sex or during sex or after sex. I want to get into some other things though. We gotta be breastfeeding our child, and not use cow's milk or vegetable milk. The reason why we do this, and another reason why we having sex at night, how we got into this whole thing is, according to this book, we started having sex at night as a reaction to working during the day. So it's really like a slave mentality. So they would have us work the day, all day, and leave the night for us, which is unnatural for us to sleep. We're supposed to be sleeping and resting, but it's our time for sex now. So the sex during the night really helps the system of white supremacy, because we working during the day when we're supposed to naturally be doing it. And we just thinking about it, I guess, and then at night we performing it when that's not healthy for our body. So and of course I was talking about breastfeeding. They say you should breastfeed to at least 3 years old. It says the kidney and the sex organs go into a descent stage, a non-energy generating state between 3 and 5 p.m. So if we have a nighttime sex, right? It says nighttime sex stresses and weakens the sex organs and the kidneys. So it's advised that additional supplements, male or female formulas, be taken as each sex act is equal to the energy needed to run 20 miles. You know how I feel when you doing it. You know what I'm saying? You do it right, you be winded no matter what. So it says, without supplementation, the sex organs get weak and deteriorate. So we need to be taking supplements to help stimulate and clear and clean and stimulate our sex organs and kidneys. So it says weakened or deteriorated sex organs results in mucus discharge known as venereal disease, prostate problems, menstruation, tumors, warts, unbalanced hormones, mood swing, bone loss, loss of hair. It says ironically, excess estrogen can cause sex addiction and reproductive disease. Hypersex or having sex in order to feel normal is a sign of sex addiction. So what they really want us to they're not trying to, label us, but they want us to really focus on having sex during during the hours our body is ready for it, and not a European way of having sex where we having sex at night and it's promoted to us having sex at night, and it's not promoted us to have ritualistic sex where we are actually praying and meditating and we're willing things and taking sex into a more of a meditation force, and where we connecting with each other and we're using our energies and that climactic energy, not on just anything, not on just the pleasure, but on better health decisions. We use it almost like a hypnosis. You hypnotize. You can use that energy to hypnotize in a sense yourself to a better mindset. About things, to a better life. You can use it to make yourself work out more, or get more money. Like you want to get more money, or you want to take care of your children in a better way. You want to find better things. You can just use it for whatever you want to do. You can take that energy and don't excrete it, men, but ejaculate and still climax, but try not to, be taught by modern porn, because it's not teaching us a healthy way of sex. So we want to ejaculate and we want to meditate in some type way of fashion during, before, and after sex. All right, and what else did I want to go over? Hope I'm not losing y'all. But I think this is important. All right. It says Europeans such as Hippocrates, upon visiting Africa, stated that Africans had very rigid sex laws. Children were breastfed for 3 years. No animals have sex while pregnant except traditional Caucasian culture. I know we want to do it, but it says sex while female is pregnant changes the hormone and nutrient of the fetus, alters the biochemistry of the female, and causes sympathetic stress. All right. All right. All right. It says, right, so like I said, we need to be thinking about it. Even when it talks about polygamy, it's like even when they said that wasn't even frowned upon in traditional African cultures, people just understood that was a part of, it says, in natural holistic states, the periodic mating season occurred according to the sun reacting to force rather than the lunar. It says the sun cycle influenced people to have sexual intercourse once a year during the springtime in monogamous and polygamous cultures. Among the polygamists, one wife, several husbands. Eskimos The solar sun cycle of the reproduction was quite evident until 1940. Yeah. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? They say it was natural to live amongst both polygamous and monogamous relationships, and we understood the difference. You know, we knew who participated in what, and we just, it was a part of the culture. It wasn't frowned upon like it is today. It said after 2 p.m. The body function began to decrease. Yeah. All right, it says there are 2 types of sex regeneration: injaculation, do not release sperm, and reproductive ejaculation that release sperm. Sexual regeneration, non-ejaculation, is a method of transferring the orgasm sensation to the pineal, the third eye. An orgasmic feeling is reached without female or male having a climax. Penis is withdrawn out of the vagina. The climax sensation is sent to the pineal. This is called sexual regeneration, and this type of sex can be performed often. This is healthy sex. All right. And yeah, so it's saying that, you know, European sex can cause a lot of problems, and it can cause stillbirths, all kind of stuff, VDs, miscarriages, fibroids, abortions, morning sickness, difficult menstruations. It's saying we got to change our customs, because our customs is really killing us. Alright, and the exploitation of women, is saying, is really what was causing women to menstruate real tough. It says because women that aren't exploited in cultures that weren't exploited, periods were uncommon. It was like, what was there? But once you start being in a certain type of captivity and you become exploited, and you don't really have the, now you don't really have the rights and stuff. You fighting for basic rights. You know, you women start to menstruate, is what this book basically is saying. And it's saying you must first have culture in order to have sex rituals. It's saying it talks about the missionary position, and I wanted to go over that too. It says the Caucasian colonizations of sex rituals and ceremonies, seasoning of slaves, the labeling of African culture, sex laws as evil and primitive. The colonization of Africa and the slavery destroyed African holistic sex. Ironically, the sexual position of the man on top of woman during intercourse is called the missionary position. This restraining sexual position was used by Caucasian male and female missionaries to rape African slaves. The missionary position identified that there are problems in African relationships, sex, and menstruation. These problems are engineered into African folks' lifestyle and are believed to be normal. So I'm saying it's not normal for a black person to adopt a Caucasian culture and behave like a white person, but we are exploited. All right. I'm almost done. In the natural state, sex is a holistic encounter practiced during the day, preferably between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Caucasians define African Ma'at culture as primitive, sex-minded rituals, taboos, and magic. I'm on page 404. And 405. It says blacks are socially engineered to follow a strict monogamous marriage form in Caucasian sex rituals and ceremonies, while the Caucasian culture sex practice include pedophilia, pornography, homosexuality, masturbation, incest, necrophilia, sex with animals, and Freudian's hidden subconscious meaning. It has Freudian's hidden subconscious meanings. Nonetheless, that's what I was saying. A seasoning black with a slave mentality never supports polygamy, inferiorizes African polygamy as a sex playground, and seasoning blacks follow Caucasian sexual appetites as normal. Nonetheless, monogamy, polygamy, and polygyny were practiced side by side in Africa and in unity with God, and spirituality. Sex was the focus. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So y'all get this book, man. It's deep. It's deep. It says sexually colonized and Caucasian domesticated African is called a citizen. So last but not least, I wanted to get on this. It says the quest for holistic African cultural sex should start with a few guidelines. So this is what this book says we should do either during, before, or after sex. Saying a prayer and asking God to bless your sexual act. Sex during the day when possible. And remember, at night, if you're doing it frequently at night, we want to take supplements or something, herbs to help our sex organs. Okay? Sexual regeneration as well as sexual reproduction. So we should, it has a season too. It says women every 3 years after having a child, every 3 years you become ready to have another one. And there's a season when we should be reproducing. So I think that's the summer season. Or I think the baby should be born in the summer. So not should be, but you have to read the book. It's a little deep. Sexual abstinence during pregnancy, menstruation, and breastfeeding. And we should be breastfeeding the children. Men participating in birth ceremony rituals and a placenta ceremony ritual. Emotional, mental, and behaviors that indicate participation in pregnancy, menstruation, and menopause by men. Passive sexual roles during sex by men and dominant roles for women, and a mixture of roles. Thinking about procreating and enlightenment for sex. After sex, petting, caressing, prayer, conversation, and necking. Use more non-sexual intercourse behavior of sharing. Eating a natural foods diet. Do not eat 1 hour before or after sex. Alright? And he gives some books. He says African sexuality must look more internally, eliminate cultural contradictions, and translate ancient sex rituals and ceremonies into a contemporary behavior that youth can understand, feel, and use. Men should learn to accept their female principle, the African woman in them. In other words, his gentleman. This is not to be confused with homosexuality. The woman should be sensitive to their male principle, African man in her, and learn to use and share this emotional, mental, and physical energy with her mate. This is explored in the book The Secret of Regeneration by Hotina. Then it says the holistic perspective, spiritual, mental, and physical, which can help to sustain black folks, can be found in books such as Sex and Nutrition by Arola, Sexual Secrets by Douglas and Slinger, The Native African Medicine by G.W. Harley. In the pamphlets Black Dot, Humanity's Ancestral Blackness by R. King, and The Crest Theory of Racial Confrontation by the Queen Frances Cress Welsing. Alright? Until black gets rid of the nighttime slave, sex, and other Caucasian distortions, they will produce poor quality eggs, sperm, and distorted sexual culture language for their children. So this book is heavy, it's deep, it's real, talks real raw, don't really cut no slacks. Some people might not like that, but I like that. So I just wanted to talk about those things, man. I thought that was real heavy because I want everybody to be healthy. I want us to all have fun and live long, productive lives and have beautiful children and make a lot of money, man. So if y'all like this, man, y'all make sure y'all subscribing and make sure y'all sharing and liking this video. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. And I'm out, man. Y'all make sure y'all have a great day. I hope y'all had a happy Turkey Day. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that means. And I hope y'all eating good. If y'all did eat crazy, if y'all ate crazy, make sure you cleansing. You know, don't just settle for your bowel movement. You need to clean that thing out. You know. Alright? I love y'all, man. Be safe. Peace.